We'll talk about Gaza and we'll talk about the hostages, but before that, would it be a stretch to say that Netanyahu created the Hamas in the way it exists or it existed before the October 7th attacks?
100%. Netanyahu took an organization that was broke, had no money, and because he wanted them to be, he didn't want the Palestinian to have one front. So as long as you have Hamas on one hand and then the Palestinian Authority on one hand, and somebody's come to them and say, oh, let's solve the Palestinian problem, he can say, with who? We have a terrorist organization called Hamas. When we have a Palestinian Authority that do not even control anything by themselves, who do you want me to negotiate with? So that was his strategy way before October 7th for at least a decade. And then his problem was that Hamas every year or every couple of years will start shooting missiles on Israel. So what did he do? What was the solution? He spoke with his friends from Qatar to give them money in cash. So they got the money in cash and they didn't shoot. What did they do with the money? They bought weapons, dig tunnels, and build an army. So yes, Netanyahu and his government, of course, not alone, but he's the strategy behind it, are responsible for the creation of this Hamas army before October 7th.
Right. Are we talking about the attack now? America does not know is what Netanyahu says, and we do recognize the fact that Israel cannot move without informing Washington. But Qatar, how does it sit with Qatar to be informed that their territory will be breached, or they've not been informed, they were not informed, and that their territory was breached? In such a scenario, what could the response be? Because we're looking at a very important country in the region.
Yes. So first of all, we don't know, right? I don't know what is the level of Qatar. So I can just give you two scenarios. In scenario, the US know for sure you cannot fly American planes into Qatar, Israeli planes into Qatar without informing the Americans with this massive army.
Air base and the air defense systems.
Yeah, so this is not an option. The Americans knew exactly what's happening. Now, Qatar, they have a problem. A, they were the financiers of the Hamas. And B, they kind of failed to end the war, etc. And they, even today or yesterday, they're hosting a lot of terrorists in their country, which hurt their brand, their international brand, dramatically. Qatar is a country which is focused on their international brand. Like look at the Mondial, or look at everything that all the soccer teams that they own, or Qatar Airlines. You know, Qatar wants to be branded as you said, as like a very important country in the region, and that everybody cooperates with them. But they have this problem called Hamas sitting there. So one option is, and this is very common in the Middle East, you know, they are saying to Israel, you know, they are there, just take them off. And of course, they will officially say they are against it and they will condemn Israel and all that, but secretly they actually knew it. So this is one option, which I think is very feasible. And because we've seen things like this happening in the Middle East all the time. And the second option is that Israel did it despite without informing Qatar. And I personally feel it's less likely because of the importance of Qatar, but everything is possible.